It worked. Oh my goodness, it worked. Let's go. Hello, hello. Oh, already 4 people. That is really, really cool. For a pretty spontaneous thing, I just decided to do this live stream because there have been so many questions during the past couple of hours that I thought it could be a good idea to do this. Let me quickly check my phone here so that I can read your comments, because my screen, which I'm using for mirroring this whole thing, is obviously not showing the comments. That's nice. Give me a second, please. And I will also just wait a little bit until a few people arrive here. Why is this not working? Well, that's probably because no one has written a comment yet. So hello, hello. I just made myself a tea, and I found out I need somehow a class or so on how to make tea. Still practicing. I think this is already a little bit, or perhaps again, I should say again, too much milk, but let's see. Nunu! Hello, hello. Nice to see you here. Oh, people. I can see people. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, or whatever it might be for you. I will wait a little bit until perhaps a few more people find this stream. This is pretty spontaneous, but I just thought I want to do this to answer some of your questions you might probably have because of my weird explanations I had yesterday in my paper premiere. So this is all about the MESSY CATMAS junk journal paper. How is this to go on my table? So if you haven't seen the premiere video yesterday, it's available as a replay on my channel, so you can still watch that. But I quickly wanted to say what we are going to do here. So I want to craft some things, as you perhaps have seen in the title of the video. I want to make some clusters today, which, to be honest, for me is something which I can use as a relaxing thing, you know. And I thought I want to do something which is not too distracting from your comments and your questions, because, you know, I want this to be a Q&A video so that you can really have the chance to ask me anything you want, obviously about the MESSY CATMAS paper collection and all of the things around that. But if you have any other questions, please, you know, just throw them into the chat and I will try to answer them as well. I mean, why are we here? And to be very honest, I was a little bit, when I woke up in the morning, I was a little bit like, I refuse to work today. Do you know those days where you think, oh my goodness, everything is done, my journal is ready to go, yeah, for the next videos and ready to record the next videos. We have December right in front of the door, and I was like, oh my goodness, I can't do anything. So I thought I want to do this because, you know, I needed to be have a little bit of relaxed time, and I thought that could be a nice thing to do that together with you. Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, the fluff on this journal is really extreme, isn't it? That was so crazy. Oh, Lisa, you are here. Have you left TikTok and came over here? Lisa is everywhere. That is so nice. And so many of you, here are so many familiar names. That is so great. Thank you so much. So this fluff is really extreme. You just woke up and this was starting, and is that a good thing? I really hope that is a good thing. I mean, I could think about better things than waking up and hearing my own voice, but if that's a good thing for you, that makes me happy, obviously. So if you want to see a full flip through of this journal, then you can find the paper premiere replay on my channel. So it's the last, the most recent video I've uploaded. And that was a premiere yesterday here on YouTube, and I've explained some things about the journal. I'm sorry, about the journal and the things you know, you can get with what I have prepared. And I wanted to go into a little more detail about that and also explain some things around this so-called backstage pass, which I can show you here again. So this is what I have shown you yesterday in the video, and there have been a ton of questions about this, and that's why I'm doing this here now, so that I also have a video later where all of those questions are answered, hopefully. So let me quickly take a look at the comments. Oh, Leanna has finished. Yeah, that is good, because I think I would feel really bad, Lisa, if you had left Leanne's stream to watch this. So that's why I wrote in Leanne's stream that you please better stay there and listen to her. Yeah, but that's a good order. Leanne first, then Louise, and then Dan. I need to be finished at 2 p.m. my time, so that's perhaps the goal. So yeah, this is the Messy Catmas backstage pass. What is this, and why is this a little bit confusing? It's probably confusing because this is new, and you have never seen something like this on my channel before, and you have never seen something like this on my website before. So that's why it's also a little bit hard for me to explain that, because, you know, I made this concept, everything is in my brain. In my brain, everything is clear, but that doesn't automatically mean that it's clear for you as well. So how to get this, what is this, and you know, let's try to answer some questions. Why have I put this here if I need the journal now? I have no idea, because I thought I wanted to first cut some things out, but perhaps that is not the best way to start this. So the Messy Catmas paper collection is my newest paper collection, which you can find obviously in my shop. By the way, all of the links are down below in the description box of this live stream. And with that paper collection, I made this journal. The paper collection itself, Messy Catmas, has junk journal pages and ephemera. So that means the item is a junk journal kit. Always when you come into my shop and you read junk journal kit, that means it's full pages to print plus ephemera like tags, tuck spots, pockets, and so on. So that's the definition of a kit, yeah, compared to items which are named junk journal pages. There you would only get the pages, or items which are called ephemera pack, then you would only get the ephemera. And for this, I've decided to turn it into a kit so that you have everything you could possibly need to make a journal. Obviously, you can throw in your own materials. You can see in this journal here, I've mixed it with a lot of things. Also this time, a lot of things from the trash can, like, for example, pieces of corrugated cardboard and so on. So that is one thing you can get in my shop at the moment, and, you know, in the future, of course, as well. So that's the Messy Catmas Junk Journal Kit. And then there is something else. Oh, sorry, by the way, this kit this time is available in DIN A4 and in US letter size. So both sizes are available. And that was also a question. Let me quickly go into that. That was also a question. Some of you have asked why sometimes the things are only available in DIN A4, and sometimes they are available in US letter, and sometimes they are available in both sizes. That has technical reasons. For some designs, I can manage to make them available in A4 and US letter size. For some items, I can make them only available in A4 or US letter size. That depends a little bit on the things I have, yeah, the images and everything I use to make these things. And yeah, that has, yeah, many technical reasons why it is like that. But if you see an item in my shop there's always in the description box of the item a little link if there is the other size available. Yeah? So if there are multiple things, then you will always find the links in the description of the item. And then there's another thing you can get with the MESSY CATMAS paper collection, and that is the Backstage pass. So let's go into detail about that, because I think that's a bit confusing because it's just brand new. Where is my Backstage pass now? So the Backstage pass is this little thing here, and this is also what you will get and what you can have, you know, physically in your hands with your download. And this looks like a little piece of paper, but behind this there is a whole junk journal series on HEINZL TV. What is HEINZL TV? You can see here this little TV thingy here, and you can also find that on my website. So I have prepared my iPad here so that you can see that. Now I'm dealing a little bit with a too short cable. Let me show you this here. I'm really hoping that you can somehow see that. Let me quickly take this. I'm so sorry. This is relatively hard to handle. How can I do this so that it doesn't show my lights? So there was another question. I'm sorry. I'm hopefully I'm not rude or so. Hello everyone. I'm so sorry. I'm pretty concentrated at the moment because I want to explain this as good as I can so that all of your questions are hopefully then answered. And I'm hoping that I don't miss anything in the chat. So I'm so sorry. Someone asked if I can only get a 4 print on US legal size. Could you please later on write me a message either on Instagram or through my Etsy shop? I can explain that to you very easily. I can write you a message if that's easier for you, but I can also explain it perhaps quickly here. But that's also a little bit depending on the device you are using to print. Yeah, so that is a little bit like different depending on what you use, but that is possible. That is even a really, really good question. So before we go into this, let's go into what you have asked, okay? So if you want to print A4 to US letter size or the other way around, it's absolutely no problem if you know how to do it. So if you have questions regarding a specific device, yeah, for example, if you print from your iPad, it's a little different than if you would print from your computer, but it is possible. That is just a setting in your printer you have to set so that you can print that. And some people have problems because if you would take, can I show you that somehow? Wait, give me a second, please. Do I have an A4 paper here somewhere? I will be back in a second. Give me an A4 paper. So let's just take this here as an example. So this is DIN A4, yeah? And the problem is that the US letter size paper has a little different proportion. That means if I would take a US letter printable and I would print that to this paper, I would get a border here and a border here. It is approximately, I mean, I'm eyeballing this now, yeah? It's approximately like so. And then your print would be here. And this would be wide. And if you would do it the other way around, because your question was regarding the other direction, yeah? So if you would have US letter size paper, which I can't show you here in this video because I don't have US letter size here in my room, yeah? But it would be exactly the other way around, but I'm assuming the border would be different and perhaps you would even get the border here. I don't know. But that's because of the proportion of the paper, but it is possible. The only thing is you have to have in mind that you then would need to cut the border off, but then you would have the full image. Yeah, there would be still the full image on the paper. Where is my little freebie thingy here? Let me take this. So if I would take it out, let's assume this was US letter printed on DIN A4. this is now also not the correct proportion, but just for getting an idea about how that would be, you would then get a white border here, yeah, approximately like this. Then please ignore this. Then you could cut this off from your print, or you could also glue some washi over here. That is what I often do, or some paper scraps or so. So if you want to have the full US letter paper size, I could totally understand that, because that is then, you know, a little bit weird if you need to cut something off. But if you don't want to cut it off, you can just decorate this. Paper strips, washi, collage paper, lace, or whatever. Or take something and make a pocket. I will take this here as an example, and just glue this on here so that this white border is covered. And then you can just use this as a pocket, and then the problem would be solved. And the setting in your printer says something like shrink to page or something like that. Yeah, so you need to force the printer to not resize the image to the whole thing, because if imagine you wanted to print this on the full paper, that is perhaps a good example to understand that technically. Because if you wanted to print this on the full sheet, what would then happen? If your computer or your printer would resize this, and imagine I could have my fingers here and pull this bigger, what would then happen? Relatively fast, I would come here to this frame and here to this frame, but then the image would only go to here and here. And if the printer then would make that even bigger, then if this border would go until here, then this border would be somewhere here, right? And that would mean you wouldn't have the full image on your print. And that is a problem, obviously. And because of that, you want to tell your printer that it shall print the whole image, but don't make it fit to the whole page, yeah? But that's just a little setting. And if you have a problem, please just write me a message, yeah? I'm here to help. I know that that is really confusing. Back in the days when I started making my printables, I had like really a breakdown, emotional breakdown, when I found out that there is this difference between A4 and US letter size, because in the beginning I didn't even know about that. And there is also something confusing on Etsy going on, because some people who sell digitals on Etsy, they write A4/US letter size. And then that is like suggesting that you can print that on both sizes and that it's like the same, but it isn't. It definitely isn't, but it's easy to solve. So if you want to message me, you can just tell me I'm using, for example, an iPad or Windows or Mac or whatever, yeah, and then I can tell you what to do and where to find these settings. I have glitter everywhere. Oh my goodness. So, you don't have a question, but it's a statement. Yeah, give me your statement. That's obviously also fine. Let me quickly read this. Hallo Susanne. Also, wenn hier deutsche Menschen anwesend sind, also deutschsprachige Menschen anwesend sind, ihr könnt gerne das auch auf Deutsch hier reinschreiben. Ja, dann kann ich das auch natürlich auf Deutsch beantworten. There's YouTube how-to vids for specific printers, devices and settings. I looked up all this info on a new printer in August and I haven't used a printer in almost 10 years and I'm old. That is really a good tip. That is always something I would suggest. Ask YouTube or Google if you have problems. Type in the model of your printer, and then you will, in the most cases, find solutions, or type in which system you are using. Yeah, if you use Windows, it's a different thing than if you would use iOS, obviously. I'm still learning how to do such cool things with my printer. Lots of reading with all the cool options. Yeah, I think with printer and digital paper, we have so many options. We just need to, I think, overcome this little fear, or how can I say that, we sometimes have. And I have to say, I have that too. Yeah, when I do these things, especially with digitals, I often have these moments where I think I want to open the window and throw this thing out, because sometimes it's just not doing what I want. But in the most cases, it's my problem and how I do that. Yeah, because, you know, of lack of knowledge or so. The US legal works better than US letter size for printing the A4 kits, but this time you made one in US letter. Thank you. That, yeah, we're very welcome. I just said it has technical reasons if I can do that or not. But what the heck is the difference between US legal and US letter? I need to look that up later. I have the feeling I will learn something new here today as well. Thank you very much for pointing that out. Throw your stuff to me. Yeah, I will do so. So let's come back to what I wanted to explain. So HEINZL TV is a new thing here on my website and also on the YouTube channel. Yeah, so it's nothing else than like a creative extension of my YouTube channel. And why do we have that? Because you have asked for something like this, and that's why it is existing. You told me that you wanted to dive even deeper into junk journaling, and you wanted to know how my brain works. That is a big question, and with HEINZL TV, I'm trying to answer that question. And now I have a problem because my nose is running really extremely. Sorry, I quickly have to use my t-shirt to get this water off from my nose. I'm so sorry. Legal is 14 inches long, letter is 11. Oh, Beverly. Thank you so much. I quickly need to make a screenshot of this comment. Thank you so much. I need to look that up later. Yeah, so that is why HEINZL TV is existing. You have asked for something like junk journal classes. You have asked for even more detailed tutorials, even if I think that my tutorials, my public tutorials, are already pretty detailed. But I understand that there are some people who think, okay, I can spend like 20-30 minutes or so to watch a video and then, you know, get the information and get the inspiration, and then I can sit down and create something. I totally get that sometimes longer videos are really hard to handle with daily life because you also have other things to do than watching what I'm doing here. But for those of you who said we want to know everything in even deeper detail, for those of you, I made HEINZL TV. So this is my website. This is how it looks when you visit the website. Here on the front, on the starting page, or how is that called? There's always the most recent stuff. So here's the paper premiere video, which we had yesterday. Here's also a link to the Backstage pass. You can also find closer, more detailed information about HEINZL TV here. And here I also linked this video for you where you can learn how you can make your own little TV thingy. So my phone is not in here. This looks a little bit weird at the moment because I'm using my phone there for reading your comments. But here you can have your phone in, and then you can watch the HEINZL TV episodes on this little TV if you want. So that's the video here. So that means I've just typed into my browser LuiseHeinzel.at. That's my website. You can also find the link down below in the description box, and then I come to this page. And then if you want to check out HEINZL TV, you can just click here in the menu where it says HEINZL TV. On your phone, this looks a little different. On your phone, there's somewhere 3 little lines which you have to click before you can click HEINZL TV. Yeah, so please make sure that you see the difference between that. It's a little bit weird with this website provider. I have the problem that the menu looks a little different depending on if you use it on your computer or a phone or so. So that means if you click HEINZL TV either here, or if you are on your phone, click the little 3 lines and then it says HEINZL TV, or just click the direct link down below in the description box. Then you come to this page, which I called the HEINZL TV Termini. I named this after the main train station in Rome because, you know, Rome is my favorite city. And what is the Termini? It's the station where everything comes together, where you can buy tickets for something, in this case, for your next creative adventure. You can also find a little definition thingy here. If you want, by the way, please feel free to download this image and use that for something else, for your journals or so if you want. I find this graphic is really nice. You can, of course, use that if you want. Here also you have some information how this whole thing works, and also a definition what the single things you can get here mean. So we have on the HEINZL TV Termini something which is called single tickets, and that is for single episodes on HEINZL TV. So that is then one video. You will also get a thing like this. That will then look a little different. It says then here single ticket instead of Backstage Pass because it's a single ticket, yeah, but you get this cool little ticket here. And then you have access to one episode of something you have chosen on HEINZL TV. Then you can get a ticket bundle, which is a bundle of tickets. Yeah. So for example, for the watercolor stamping hacks, we had that already. There have been single tickets available and also a ticket bundle, which you could get. And the ticket bundle has then all of the episodes in one bundle, and you save 20% on the price if you buy the whole bundle compared to the single tickets. And then we have something which is called Backstage Pass. And that is what you could see in the premiere video yesterday. That is this thing here. And there will be obviously more tickets, more ticket bundles, more Backstage Passes with different themes available in the future. This has just started, and I want to add more and more creative adventures each month so that you can then, look what's new there, and then you can decide for something. So that means HEINZL TV, and that was also a question I got, is not a subscription. Yeah, it's just not a subscription. You can look here and look what you want. Until today, it's not very much. We only have the watercolor stamping hacks and the MESSY CATMAS junk journal class, but there will come more. Yeah, but it is not a subscription. You don't have to pay something monthly or so, but you can just choose the single things so that you have more flexibility in what you want to choose. So there's another comment. At first I was overwhelmed because there's so much incredible content and information, but it was my brain wanting to have it all at once. That is very kind. Thank you so much. Yeah, I know that this page is very big, but I would think it's worth to take a look at my website, because here are also some other things, like my blog, for example. There are really detailed blog posts about other projects I made. And I see that very often when you ask questions, then I see you don't know my website yet. I see that from the question. That's obviously not meant bad, but please take a look at this, perhaps not only on this thing here where it says HEINZL TV, but you can also check out the other things on my website, for example, the blog and so on, if you want to get some more inspiration and doesn't sound arrogant, but inspiration for free. Yeah. So if you want to check out the blog, if my internet connection would let me do this, thank you so much. You can see, for example, my Voltober series I had in October. This is 27 things hidden behind this little thing. I also have blog posts about other journals, for example, here the Poppyfield Avenue journal, and there's, Raggedy Turtle Bloom journal, a little bit of bunnies if you want. And here's a ton of inspiration also about some cards I made, for example. Ideology makes everything I did for Steppers Anonymous, Ranger, Tim in general, Zizix, and so on. So perhaps you want to check that out, because it's free. You can go here and check that out. So yeah, let's come back to this. And if there are any questions, please feel free to interrupt me. I have an eye on the chat. If there is anything you don't understand what I'm saying here, please just write a message, and then in the chat, and then I can answer that immediately. So we have the single tickets, we have the ticket bundles, and we have the Backstage Pass. What is the difference between the Backstage Pass and the other things? That is an easy answer. The Backstage Pass is something where I can't give you single tickets. Why not? Because it's a whole series and a whole class where one episode is followed by the other, and then we have themes, topics, and for example, in the third video we are taking something we made in the first video and so on, yeah, so that it is like connected to each other. And for those reasons, it's impossible for me to give you the single episodes. I mean, it wouldn't be impossible, but it wouldn't make any sense. Yeah, and that is why the Backstage Pass, is called the Backstage Pass, because you get access to the whole series. And in this specific case, that means you will learn how to make this journal with your own materials, with your own ideas, with your own stuff from the trash can, from your stash, from wherever you want to take it. And we will go through the whole process step by step. And the special thing about this series is that we develop the process together. And so that means this is like some kind of a special tutorial. It is a tutorial, it is a class, yeah. I will show you exactly how to do things like this. I will show you exactly, I will go into detail about that even closer in a second. I will show you exactly how to make these flowers with your own materials, yeah. I will give you a tutorial, but the special thing about this is that we develop the process step by step together. Why? Because that is what you've asked for on the one hand, and that is how I do that in my real life without you. Yeah. So this is my real life obviously as well. Ursel, ich wünsche dir, dass du inzwischen aufgrund der englischen Videos mehr Erfolg hast. Das ist sehr lieb von dir. Das ist allerdings, wenn ich das mal hier so unter uns sagen darf, vielleicht ein kleiner Trugschluss. Da du das so schreibst, denke ich, ja, ich kenne dich, ja, ich weiß ja, wer du bist. Du kennst die Gründe, warum das so gekommen ist. Und ja, ich glaube, das ist jetzt hier gerade, ich will jetzt nicht sagen, das ist der falsche Ort, um auf das genauer einzugehen, aber ich danke dir auf jeden Fall sehr für deine lieben Worte. Ich kann nur sagen, YouTube ist ein sehr harter Platz zum Überleben, wenn ich das mal so sagen kann. Und das hat aber nichts mit der Sprache unbedingt zu tun, würde ich sagen. Das war eine Entscheidung, die für mich sehr wichtig war, weil ich gedacht habe, wenn ich das so nicht mache, ich wäre wahrscheinlich vor die Hunde gegangen. Alles doppelt zu drehen, ich kann mir das inzwischen überhaupt gar nicht mehr vorstellen, wie ich das überhaupt hinbekommen habe in der Vergangenheit. So there was just a comment in German regarding that I don't make German videos anymore, and that is something which also always still touches my heart really deeply. I am still really sad that I can't do that anymore, but I just said in German that it's just impossible, and I have absolutely no idea how I did that in the past. Perhaps you know that I filmed everything twice, or let's say 90% of my content I filmed twice. And even yesterday I thought, what the heck, how the heck did I do that? Because it was just too much work. I didn't have a life anymore. So that means with the Backstage Pass, you will get access to all of the videos I recorded while I was making this. And the special thing, as I said, is that we explore the process together. So we start with something which is called a mood board. And from there, we go through all of the things and we develop the whole process step by step. I wanted to have something like that on HEINZL TV because I thought that is the most difficult thing to do. You are sitting in front of an empty desk and you don't know how to start and you don't know what to do and you think, oh, what the heck, I have materials, I have perhaps already some ephemera. I read that so often that you say, I made ephemera because I watched your video. I made this, I made cards, but how to bring that together in a journal now? And that is exactly what this junk journal class will give you step by step. And like really also, that is also a point, also that was also a question, like really, how can you say that? You can sit down, watch the videos and craft along. Yeah, so it's like a real-time process thing. I will go into detail about the different things in a second. So when you are here, yeah, and you want to learn more, please don't be afraid to click on something here. You can click on this little picture and you can also click on this little button here. On the picture, you can see here the available episodes, which is in this case 14 episodes. Who is my light? destroying this? Hopefully not. I'm hoping that you can see this good. So this is 14 episodes. You can see I have recorded this in English. Here it says spoken language English. And the total video length of these 14 videos is 37 hours. Yeah, there is not a number too much or so. It's really that long. And I think it is possible to sit down, watch these hours of videos and craft along with like a few spots where I say to you in the videos, you can now stop the pause the video and glue this and this and this together. Yeah. So for example, because I thought it is totally boring if you watch me gluing flowers, yeah, where I do like the same thing over and over again. So I've edited that out so that you then have the possibility to pause the video and then do the thing. Like for example, in the video where we make these flowers here from scratch, and I found some really cool things out about handmade flowers, by the way. So we are layering these flowers and we talk about the different layers and everything, and you know how I did that and how I come from one idea to another for these flowers. And then I, for example, say in the video to you, you can now pause the video and glue everything together, because that is what I then did as well. Or like for example, throwing some coffee in on here and letting that dry. You don't want to watch the flowers dry, yeah? So that is the only thing, so to say, where I edited some things out off from the video, yeah? So where you then can do that by your own, but the rest of these 37 hours is like craft along thing, yeah? You can sit down, and I want that you can sit down together with me here at my desk and do that together with me. So let's talk perhaps about the single things. If you click on here, you can get a whole overview over what is included in the Backstage Pass. Let me quickly read that comment there. Thank you for letting this Backstage pack be available in the future. So if I can't afford it right now, I can still get it in another time when it's more practical for my personal budget. That is a really nice comment. Thank you very much. I know that at first glance, the price for this Backstage Pass seems very much. And I totally get if you say I can't afford that at the moment. If you want to discuss some things about that with me, just shoot me a message. Yeah, just message me via my Etsy shop. That would be the best way to do that. And we can figure perhaps something out if you like really urgently want it, but you can't afford it. Let's talk about that, yeah? But the thing is, if you look closer to what you get with this, I think I can also say that from what you have already written, many of you have written that it's worth the money. And if you look closer, you can see what you get with this. And I want to go into detail about that a little closer now, because I think yesterday in the video, it was a little bit like, you know, you saw the journal, you had other questions, you were a little bit like, thrilled about the intro and the outro and the outtakes and so on. Thank you very much, by the way, for that. That it was a really lovely chat yesterday together with you, but I thought it's worth to go into detail about this because you've asked for something like this. Here it is now, so obviously it's my goal to give you clear information about this and what this is. Watching flowers dry, like watching grass grow. Yeah, that would be exactly that. If this was grown from here, you also don't want to watch how it grows. So as soon as we've clicked on this little picture there, you can get a whole overview here. Yeah. Did I link this in the video description? I don't think so. I will do that later. So if you watch this on replay, then the link is already there. So here we have a little introduction text. And by the way, did you notice that this stuff works with QR codes? Did you notice that I, the whole time, have hold this into the screen and that it's here as well? Did you notice that? Be clever. I did something for you. Be clever, okay? And I can see in my, you know, in the settings of my website that the most of you haven't got it yet. Be clever. Try it. Scan it. Scan it. It's a surprise. Scan it, okay. Little explanation for that. Obviously, when I make these things, you get a QR code here, which leads you then to the studio page, where you can find all of the episodes which are within this class available with your real code. Yeah, you have here. You will come to a different page than with this, but it's worth to scan this because, you know, scan it and you will see it. Okay, I made a little thing and I was thinking, if I would see something like this, I would think, huh? What is that? The code can't be on here because, you know, then it would be public. I can't show the real code in the video. Yeah, that would be a little bit weird because then you could have access without paying for it. But scan this. I made something where I really put thoughts into that, and I think it's a little bit funny. Yeah, so the Backstage Pass includes, that is also what you can read here. I will repeat it because I can see now we are 40 people in the house here, so I will quickly repeat that so that the people who are new here can also understand what I'm talking about here. So this Backstage Pass includes the complete video series, which is 14 episodes, meaning 14 videos with a total length of 37 hours. So that means we have the full step-by-step process. We will build this entire journal together, including the cover and everything. There's something about the binding, about the signatures, everything. Then you will also get the Messy CATMAS digital junk journal kit. So all of the pages and ephemera I have in the journal are included with the Backstage Pass. You will get that automatically with your download. And there will also be, not will, there are already are, they not will be, they are existing. You get extra freebies. So that means additional digitals, which you can then later on find on the studio page. You know, after you've got this, you can then scan your code and that will lead you to the studio page where you can then find everything. So that means if you click episode 1, we start with episode 1. For that episode, there's a whole studio page with further information, with freebies, if there are freebies existing for that episode, and also with some kind of product links. Yeah, if you want to, for example, have exactly the same stamp set like I'm using there, or exactly the same stencil, you will find it linked there. You don't need to search. You don't need to, run somewhere else and interrupt your process. You can just click on the studio page, you will see the photo, you will see the link, and then, the product links all go to Simon Says Stamp, where I'm an affiliate, with Simon Says Stamp. So that means you can buy that there just like you would do it without knowing me, and I will get a little bit of money from Simon Says Stamp. And there's like a little, like a little service for you so that you don't have to search. But for each of the 14 episodes, there's a separate studio, that is German, studio page available with, the video, additional information, detailed photos so that you don't have to pause the video to see some details. But, I made pictures from every imaginable angle, put that there. Then we have the product links there. You don't need to use what I'm using, but, you could find the things there if you wanted. You have the freebies there, and on those studio pages, where it made sense, I've also put some additional videos which I curated there, which are already existing on my channel, which are older videos, but where I thought that could make sense in the whole context. So if we, for example, talk about something like coffee dyeing paper, I've put all of the videos where I thought they could make sense in the context on that studio page. You don't need to search. You don't need to wreck your own brain with searching for the things. You already have that there. If I think about this video here, the episode with the flowers, there are multiple other videos with other flowers, yeah, also layered flowers, also something like this, yes, but with different ideas, with different colors, for example, with different materials, with different thoughts behind, but all matching that episode. Does that make sense? And I have the feeling I sound really like aggressive or so, but I'm so excited about that. because there was a really great process for me as well, putting all of that together, because I had the experience when I looked on all of these episodes, it made more sense to have that all in this order and to hop from episode to episode. That also somehow structured my own process a little bit better. I got a structure in my brain somehow, and with that it was so easy for me to put everything together and have a really good overview over that as well. Oh, Nunu lost the internet. That is not so nice. Nice to see you back here. It is actually a very good value, and I love the QR codes. Thank you so, so much. I'm still enjoying the first Backstage Best. I'm starting HEINZL TV library. Oh, that is so cute. So you mean you are enjoying the first ticket bundle, right? The watercolor stamping hex is not, that is a difference. The watercolor stamping hex, that was the first thing on HEINZL TV. That is not a Backstage Best, but for the watercolor stamping hex, let me quickly go back to that, because that is a good, that is a really good comment, so that we can compare that. My internet is very slow, I'm sorry. So if you look here, you can see here, where it's the MESSY CATMAS Junk Journal class, it's Backstage Pass. It says Backstage Pass here. It's very small, I'm sorry. Here it says Backstage Pass. Here it says Tickets and Bundle. So that means if you see Tickets and Bundle and you click on this, which is another thing here, yeah, another, ooh, this is, this is magnetic, okay, it just collects everything metal I have here. That is really useful. So that means, I'm so sorry, for the watercolor stamping hex, which was the first creative adventure on HEINZL TV, we have single tickets, yeah, so that means one episode, and so on. And if you want to have all 4 episodes, which are existing here, you can take the ticket bundle and save 20%. Yeah. By the way, the price for the Backstage Pass, I've also calculated that like a ticket bundle. So that means it's nowhere written, but you also save 20% on the regular price, even if it's not, you know, not written somewhere. Because I didn't want to confuse you, because how to save something, you know, how to save 20% if there's no single episodes available. Yeah, that doesn't make any sense. But just so that you know that, I did that already and tried to really give you the most I could with this. So when you then are on this page, you can rewatch the paper premiere. Here's the replay link. So from the video I did yesterday, where we had our lovely chat. If you click this, you come to my Etsy shop. I will show you that in a second. And then here, please scroll. Yeah, these informations are here for you. Please scroll and read this, okay? Because some of you said, that was not enough information. I couldn't find anything about the things, and I want to know more about this. Here you get it. Yeah, please just read this, because here it says everything about the single episodes. Here it says episode 1, introduction and supplies. Episode 2, how to start creating a mood board from scratch. And we have even little texts here which give you further information about that. So episode 3 is, for example, let's do the stuff that sucks. Episode 4 is called Let's Cringe It, and so on. Yeah, so you have the titles of the single episodes here. That's the titles of the single videos, and you have a little description about what's going to happen in that specific episode, so that you can see the whole watch list here already, and yeah, get a little insight into what we are going to do there. I also made a little picture here of some of the freebies. This is not even all, yeah, some of the freebies are here, and a little like inside of the other companion materials you get with this. And also here are already some photos, yeah, so that you don't have to watch the whole paper premiere video again, so that you can just see the photos here. And if you scroll, you can see it's worth to scroll on my website. Here's the freebie you can get. This is also available in A4 and US letter, so this is available for everyone, also for the trolls who said, there's nothing for me anymore on this channel. So this is for you, and other things as well, obviously. And I also have a really, detailed slideshow here about the different things you can get here. You can also see some of the techniques already on these photos. There was several tickets, I thought. Let me quickly read this. I see there were several tickets. I bought the whole thing, so got all the tickets for everything all at once. Yeah, exactly. You did that for the watercolor stamping hacks. You bought the bundle. So that means you then have like the whole thing. But the difference between that's just the name. Yeah, it's just basically it's just the name which is a little different. A bundle means you have several episodes with those single tickets in the bundle, but you can watch those single episodes separately. And you can also get, for example, episode 1 separately as a single ticket, episode 2 separately as a single ticket. And they are like from start to finish episodes, and one episode makes sense by itself. And because of that, I can provide them as a bundle. But with this thing, with the Backstage Pass, that is not possible, because what would you do with one episode where I say, oh yeah, in the last episode we did this and this and that, and we take, for example, these materials we made in the second episode, and for the 9th episode we will need these again, then that doesn't make any sense for you if I would give you that as single tickets. And that is why a junk journal class is always a Backstage Pass. Yeah, because the episodes are connected to each other. Hallo Kathy. Hallo ins Erzgebirge. Okay, so then here are all of the information about that. And obviously you can also choose to just get the paper collection. Yeah, so no one says that you can't join this Messy Catmas adventure if you don't take the Backstage Pass. Yeah, if you want to go into the deepest detail, if you want to have this class, yeah, then you will get it with this. And by the way, you can then buy it by just clicking here, buy now, or you can also click this picture. I will show you that in a second, so that you can see how that then looks in the shop. But you can also craft along with the upcoming videos, which I will have here in the public area of my YouTube channel. I will come to that in a second. If you don't have the Backstage Pass. Yeah, please don't think that you can't join if you don't have the Backstage Pass. It's the opposite thing. You can join in any case, because I made this that everyone can join. Yeah, even if you don't want to use the cats, you can also follow the upcoming videos and just use another paper collection or use another theme. Or if you want to make it extremely kitschy Christmas, yeah, then do that, please. Yeah, so that means if you want to learn how to make the journal, take the Backstage Pass. This thing, which you can get by clicking here. If you think, I don't want that, I just want to have the paper collection, you can get that separately. The links are down below in the description box. There where it says Messy Catmas Junk Journal Kit, either DIN A4 or US letter size, you can get just the paper. Yeah, that means just these pages and the ephemera, which is the Messy Catmas Junk Journal Kit. Yeah, everything digital I used in here, you can get with the kit. The freebie you can download from the website. And yeah, to be very clear, the freebies I've provided during the series, like this, for example, I turned this into a freebie. It's just an example, but there are more. There's a ton of freebies. Those are obviously only available with the Backstage Pass. Yeah, but this freebie here, and it could happen that I will make more while I'm filming the other videos. This here, for example, is available for everyone. So that means you can then just, if you want, take the junk journal kit, print that, and craft along with the upcoming videos. But please notice, so that you know what we are doing, in the upcoming videos, I will have this journal ready in my hands. Yeah, so that means for those public videos, I already have this journal. So that means if you want to work in a journal, You would need to make your own journal from the papers, yeah, which you obviously can do. And then we will do some things with the digital paper collection, which I then want to put in the journal. With those videos, I want to cover this question many of you had, where you said, yeah, well, when I have such a journal, what shall I then do with it? What can I do in a journal after it's finished? And that's what I want to cover with those upcoming videos. So to summarize that, in the junk journal class, we start from scratch. We build this entire journal, and then the official episodes of the class are finished, 14 episodes finished. And then you will see a little page where it says bonus videos, and those bonus videos are those videos which I will upload throughout November / perhaps December. I need to look how much time I will need for, covering everything. I'm not so sure how many videos that will be, but I'm sure at least 4, 5, 6, 7, approximately, okay? And those bonus videos you can obviously watch on my YouTube channel. I've listed them for you in the Backstage Pass area. Yeah, on the studio page, you will find a little tab where it says bonus videos, and they will then appear there for you so that you don't need to search. You can just go to the page and then everything is there for you. And if you are a subscriber of my channel and you have activated this little notification bell, you will also get a notification about those videos because they will be public on my channel. Yeah. Just for those trolls who said, she doesn't want us to join. There will be public videos, which are bonus videos for you, yeah, HEINZL TV videos, but on my public YouTube channel, yeah. For those of you who were like, blah, 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 she is a bad person and she doesn't love us anymore. I love you very much, and that's why I'm doing this here, okay? And if you think, I hate cats, I hate Christmas, I hate the Grinch, I hate Grinch-inspired things, I just want to craft something, take your own paper, watch the public videos, and just transfer the idea from what I show there to your own papers. No one says that you have to work with cats, okay? So if there are any questions, why is my chat here so quiet? Does that mean you are not typing anything, or do you just don't have questions? So if you want to, let's quickly go into detail about that. I wanted to make clusters, didn't I? Oh my goodness, I'm so sorry. I didn't think that there is so much to explain, but it obviously is. So if you want to have the Backstage Pass, you can click this image or also this little link which was there. And then you will come to my Etsy shop. And then this is what you get. Looks the same here like on the website, but from the website for the payment for the class, yeah, and also for other things, like for example, the paper collection, it will lead you to my shop, because somehow I need to organize everything, and everything then goes to Etsy, where I have my shop. Here, you can also get a detailed information. I'm so sorry, my internet is very slow. So here's again an explanation about what HEINZL TV is and what you can get with that. To get rid of this magnetic box. Then you also have a little summary of the things you will get with the class. This is, not so detailed like on the website. So if you want to get an information, really, detailed information, please read the thing on the website. This is just, that also the people who come from somewhere else can find this and can find the information. But I think it's more comfortable to read it on the website instead of here. But, feel free to do whatever you might like. Here's just the information I just already summarized. Also some pictures, you can see it's the same pictures like on the website, but I find it's on the website a little easier to see and, to scroll and so on. The Backstage Pass, by the way, also has the paper collection in both sides included. Yeah, so if you want to have the Backstage Pass, don't worry about the paper size. You will get automatically with your download a folder where it says paper collection A4, paper collection US letter, and then you can choose and print whatever you might like or need for your paper you have for your printer. You know what I mean. So that's that. And the paper collection itself, you can obviously also get through my shop. Yeah, same thing. Just click a link somewhere, either in the from the description box here or from somewhere else, and then you can just come to the shop and find it there. I will quickly do that here because it's easier for me to do it like so. You can see I've also pinned it here. All of the 3 things which are available, I've pinned them here, so that you know, you can see everything. Just watching and listening. This eye emoji is so funny. Didn't want to interrupt you explaining. Yeah, well, please feel free to interrupt me. Yeah, I'm here to answer your questions, and I'm just, you know, going into those questions I already got with your messages during the past couple of hours. But if there are questions now while I'm explaining this here, please let me know, okay? But you know, it's in my brain, everything is absolutely clear because I have made this whole thing, but I can totally understand if it's not clear for you. And if that's the case and I don't explain it well enough, please just ask whatever you want. Yeah, even if you think, oh, she just explained it but I didn't get it, ask, okay? Then I have the chance to repeat it. If I don't know that there are still questions, then I, you know, then I can't know that I could perhaps repeat it. So yeah, here on the top I've pinned these 3 items. So you can find the junk journal class here, which is the Backstage pass. You can find the kit in DIN A4 here. Oh, sorry, this is US letter. US letter and DIN A4. And if you click that, it just happens the same thing, but just with the papers. Yeah, you can also then here, look, here's a little crazy video. And then you can also see the single pages here. If you're interested in seeing those like separately, you know, you have only seen them in the journal yet, because I thought that is nicer than having the loose papers on my desk. I always think it's nicer when you can see what you can make with a paper collection instead of just seeing the papers on the table. In the past, I did my shop updates and everything. I've shown you prints, your printouts from these things, but I'm thinking that is nice as well. Yeah, then you can see the whole page. That also has advantages, obviously, but I'm thinking it's way nicer when you can see a finished journal with that, because then you can imagine how would that look when the page is folded, for example. How would it look if I would glue a pocket or decorate it in some way? And that's why I'm doing these paper premieres where I show my new paper collections like I do them, with showing you a flip through a journal instead of just having the loose papers here, because the loose papers, to be honest, you can see them here. Yeah, you can just flip through this. And thank you to Etsy, I need to say that this is really a thing where I'm so happy about. Etsy now allows 20 photos to upload instead of only 10. I was so happy when I set this item up for my shop. I was thinking, okay, I need 10 pictures. And, you know, in the past, I always did 4 on one page because, you know, I could only upload 10 pages. 10 papers here, 10 files. And now we can do 20. Isn't that just great? Because then you can see everything in the full size here and, you know, get a way better impression of what this is. So here is everything. You can check out the ephemera and everything we have here. Look. Toll, oder? So, that's that. I think now I interrupted myself. Yeah, so that means you can also join the Messy CATMAS series, yeah, for the upcoming videos by taking, if you want, the paper collection, or if you think, I hate those cats, I don't like the style of the paper, but I want to craft something together with the others and with perhaps with me also, that will make me really happy. Then you can also take your own papers, yeah, or your own journal, what you already have, and just, you know, watch the videos which will come and then craft along. Does that make sense? I don't know. Where can I put this thing to just, you know. Thank you for both sizes. My pages always turn out smaller as I have to trim even if printing with no borders. Just confused me at first. Ah, okay, so that means you printed A4 to US letter size, right? About yesterday's live and so I feel so bad because the title of the video says, let's make clusters. I'm so sorry. Do you know what? I always have so much problem with, we will do this now. I have, how much time do I have left? I have 12 minutes left. So I will perhaps rename the title of the video into how many clusters can we make in 12 minutes? Let's do that. I'm really hoping that you're not disappointed now because of the title of the video. Oh my goodness, I need to later on, I will do some clusters now because I promised that, and later on I will rename the live stream. I'm so sorry. I always have the problem that, shall we make squares? I think so. That I don't know how much time I will need for something, and that is with my other videos as well. Not only, I mean, with live streams, it's even harder to do, isn't it? So that you, you know, really have a feeling for how long something will take you to explain. And we talked relatively long about the different paper sizes in the beginning, which is obviously good. Yeah, don't get me wrong. But I always have that problem also with the other videos, and then I think, okay, I want to explain this. I think it makes sense to explain that, blah, blah, blah. And then an hour is gone, and I'm thinking, okay, who shall now edit this video so that it's not too long in the end? And that is really, really tricky sometimes. I find that pretty hard to do. And with explaining things, obviously I want to explain everything as good as I can so that you can understand it. I mean, what am I doing here? What are you doing here? You don't want to sit here and, you know, then go away and have questions left. Yeah, that's not the goal. And that is really a challenge. I didn't notice the clusters because the Q&A Messy Catmas stuck to my brain. Yeah, that is then perhaps even a good thing, isn't it? So I have chosen this die cut here. This is also one I have used for the journal. I was pretty surprised when I made the journal that I could come very far with just a few die cuts. You know how much I love die cuts, but we have so many other things in the journal where I thought, okay, that's already great. And that doesn't mean that I won't include more die cuts, but, you know, it was just cool to see, even, you know, when you have one die cut and you look how much you can do with that. If you just cut it out multiple times, that is, I find that pretty amazing. And to be honest, when I started junk journaling, I wasn't expecting that I would like something like this so much, because with die cuts in the beginning I thought, well, it's just a thing where you can cut out a thing and then you have the thing and you can use that, and then for the next project you use the same thing, or what? I didn't understand how versatile they are. And you know, in the meantime I obviously changed my mind about that. Yeah. So what I want to do is, I have some materials here which are left over from the mood board we've created in the beginning of the series. So that is, for me, a really good way to start to make a mood board, because in the mood board you can gather supplies, you can gather ideas, you can gather everything you can use later. And for me, it's a really cool way to come from the blank table. You know, if you start a new project, your table is blank, to the next stage and to the next step you want to take. And because of that, I have some things left, because, you know, you do something and then something is left. Do you know what I mean? And that is what I want to include here now in my clusters. And I also have other things. So that means we will first throw the cloth to the floor and then just ignore that. Just ignore me, okay? And then we will tear these apart so that we have more, meaning 4 from 2. And then I just want to layer some of these materials on here. This is just some fabric I have left over. Why is this so rectangular? And what we do here now, I mean, even if I only have just a few minutes left, you can also include this in the other ideas I will have for you in the future, obviously. Yeah, you can make these now or later, whenever. And I think this is also a great way to use up scraps and to do something with the leftovers. That, to me, always makes sense. Oh, I'm just realizing this is a sticker. It's like a washi thingy. So we can also do it like this. Oh, that looks even nicer than just throwing that on there. How can I get this off now? Hello, Luna's art. I'm so new to doing my own... I'm so new to doing my own die cuts. I got the thing big shot and still have to read instructions why I use it. But then I make a ton of them at once, but want more to expand my selections. Yeah, that is really a thing. In the beginning, I thought, what shall that be? Why can't I get this off? Ah, give me a second. This is a really old washi sticker sheet. I can't get this off here. I want this. To be like so. Then we can at the same time glue this down here. That's, I mean, stick this down so that it doesn't move anymore. In the beginning, when I started with my die cut machine, I had a really cheap machine from cheap store. Worked as well, yeah, but I was so confused. The first time I was die cutting, I didn't know that these things here get these marks. And I used the machine and I was like, oh my goodness, I have ruined this plate because, you know, I had these marks from the cutting there. And I was like, what shit? And what did I do? Something like that, yeah. And then, yeah. In the meantime, obviously, I found out that that is normal and that it's supposed to look like that and to do that. But I was so confused. And now I'm thinking, how could I ever live without die cuts? Because I think they are so, so cool and you can do so many things with them. And if you already follow my channel for a longer time, oh my goodness, now my phone is telling me. Did you hear that? Oh my goodness, that was my alarm. I don't know if you heard that music now. Hopefully I won't get into problems. Oh, Andrea, hallo, das freut mich sehr. Ich habe die Big Shot vor 10 Jahren gekauft und direkt wie eine Irre losgelegt. Game Changer for me. Ja, genau das. Genau das. Es ist absolut krass, was man damit machen kann. Und vor allen Dingen, wenn man ein bisschen so um die Ecke denkt, ein bisschen out of the box denkt, dann kann man echt richtig viele coole Sachen damit machen. Ich bin nervös, weil ich muss weg. Soll ich später nochmal wiederkommen? Das wäre natürlich auch eine Option. I just have some problems here because I need to leave in about 2 minutes because I mean I just can't miss what's happening then there because Daniel Evans will be live on TikTok for his lunchtime love songs, or like I like to call it love time lunch songs. And I would love to watch that. But I could come back later if you want, and then we could perhaps even do this better by focusing on really making the clusters instead of talking about the other things. I think that is a good idea, isn't it? I will rename this stream and call it, you know, only Q&A about the Messy Catmas Backstage Pass, and then I will come back later and we could make these together. What do you think about that? Okay, so die deutschen Leutchen da, ich sage mal die deutschen Leutchen, die deutschsprachigen Leutchen, sind offensichtlich dafür, dass wir das weitermachen. Okay, so that seems to be a good thing to do it like that. Okay, so then I will thank you very much for your feedback. Yeah, and Lisa is just saying the same, like I just wanted to say, if you have TikTok, please hop over to TikTok and I will, Lisa, could you please just write Daniel's handle in the chat if you are still there? Perhaps we can even meet there. Yeah, Dory, for example, she also was, you also were there the other day. Perhaps we want to meet there, just chat a little bit, you know, then I can relax a little bit just for an hour or so. And then I will just come back later and we can finish these. What do we think about that? I will quickly, I don't know if Lisa is still here. It's at, let me quickly type it in, Daniel Evans Sings. So I've just thrown his handle, thank you Lisa, I wasn't sure if you are still here, in the chat. So he's at Daniel Evans Sings, also on TikTok. And you know, here are now 41 people. If you have TikTok, could we please just surprise him, and you know, could the HEINZL crew perhaps just crush the stream? It's not crush, but that would be really really interesting if we could do that, and that would be so nice, because then we could chat there, you know, and I could also chat with you then, like with typing and so on. That would be really nice. And then, you know, after that, I don't know how long that will take. Let me quickly think about that. And now it's 2 p.m. That lunchtime love songs is approximately an hour to 1.5 hours. So that means it would be then perhaps 4 p.m. when I will be back, approximately, perhaps earlier. Yeah, you know, just take a look at your YouTube and then you will see that, and then we can finish these. So now I have to run because Lisa and I, we already missed, and Dory, we already missed 3 minutes. That is unacceptable. So see you later, and thanks for joining. Bye.